I found recently that what happens when I go into my court hearings, they're private, no one is allowed in, and we even have trouble getting the transcripts afterwards, and they sure as hell are not going to let me, short of bringing in some kind of a hidden pen mic or some kind of a hidden button camera, which I do possess, by the way, to record these things. So, yeah.
Instead of you bringing it in, why not someone else bringing it in? Are you telling me that they're closing the doors down to everybody? Nobody's sitting on the benches?
No, yes, Tony, nobody is allowed in. The doors are locked.
How do they pull that off?
They've done it for every hearing. Ask the people that showed up that tried to get in. They are closed courtrooms, private courtrooms, because of my status that I claim. It has to be a private courtroom. The public is not allowed in. It's now a private courtroom. It is not public anymore. Nobody's allowed in. They wouldn't even let my family in.
Okay, what status are you claiming that mixing the mix?
That's the grantor beneficiary status. That's a private individual. His identity must be protected at all times. He's a protected witness.
And you cannot bring in an agent?
Nope. They will allow counsel in.
Okay, then have somebody who can come in that capacity wearing a camera.
We plan on it, but that was the problem, is that with this last one where I'm in jail, how do I get paperwork out that lets them know who my counsel is?
Yeah, okay, well, this is just an isolated case, but I'm
exactly.
I'm saying anytime you have the opportunity to videotape it, then you should be doing that.
Yeah, the lawsuits and the stuff coming up, absolutely, I will disclose all of that stuff to the inner circle. That is not a problem. Anything I can, I will disclose. Have I ever had a problem with that? No. I just want to make sure that I'm not making promises that I can't keep.
Well,
that's always been my, that's always been one thing I've been big on. I don't want to make promises I can't keep, because that's one of my problems right now, is that I've taken on so much at times that I can't keep up with half the stuff I was doing.
Yeah.
So,
well, it could be made clear to the public that when it comes to videos, the videos are provided whenever possible, whenever applicable. There's have to be something that's promised.
We will provide whatever we possibly can. It's like there's going to be nothing held back.
Okay.
Unless, like I say, there's things that I do that are my own little thing that I'm unwilling to share with people because it's something that say maybe me and somebody else have developed that they've asked me to keep between the two of us.
Okay.
And that's why on the one show there I said, actually, I can't talk about that. And everybody thinks I'm keeping stuff back all of a sudden. It's like, no, can you imagine if you told me to keep something under wraps? And I went and announced it to everybody anyways?
Okay, well, to protect your credibility, my suggestion to you is if you can't talk about something, don't even bring it up.
Don't even say it anymore. Yeah, I caught myself afterwards, but I was like, I shouldn't have said that at all. But whatever.
You're a very easygoing guy in terms of, like, I can tell from the way you live, you kind of like fuck you kind of attitude about everything, and that's fine, that's you, and I respect that. But you have to understand, with FU, we're charging money.
Mm-hmm.
We become liable in a way. Because we're selling them something, so
yeah.
It's not like you're giving your information for free on Global Fact Radio anymore. You're now charging them for it. So you need
this is true, but I would say that that just because somebody's paying for a limited education of sorts does not mean I have to disclose absolutely everything.
I'm not saying that. You didn't let me finish. Because we're charging money, you have to be careful what comes out of your mouth. If you can't talk about something, don't bring it up. Don't give anybody a reason to question your credibility, in other words.
I completely agree, and I think that's all stemming from the fact that I'm just unaccustomed to speaking publicly.
Okay.
And live, because everything's just kind of off the top of my head as I'm going, eh?
Okay. Can you, I told Rob that I'll ask you to call him within the next couple of days. Can you call him?
Actually, yeah, I wanted to call him tonight. I sent him a message saying, hey, we need to chat.
Okay. Tonight when I do the show, I'd like you to, before I start the actual PowerPoint presentation, I'd like you to open up with explaining the reality and the challenges of FU. For example, what you and I talked about the other day, last time we were on Skype, you said people need to realize that this is not a sure thing. There's gonna be conflicts with authorities. There's gonna be police coming up. They're gonna resist this thing. They're not just gonna let us open up FU and go along with it You say, oh, you guys are doing a great job educating everybody against the system. We'll just let you be. They're not going to do that, right?
Yeah, they are not just going to lay down and die, clearly.
Exactly. So that's the disclaimer that you need to open up with tonight.
Yeah.
Basically, you need to paint a picture in your mind. What price are you willing to pay for your freedom?
Yes.
Now, don't scare the hell out of them. Tell them you're going to get thrown in jail. But say there is that possibility.
Which is why we try to limit that in the education to say only take on what you're willing to actually stand up for, you know what I mean?
Which is why every module of the education process is going to be, you're going to be tested for your knowledge before you move on to the next module.
Yeah, and then it's up to you to know that stuff, but to take it under your own advisement as to whether or not you want to start making that fight, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is the side of the road a good place for me to start my battle with no driver's license and no insurance?
Okay.
In fact, I think that's one of the most pointless disputes that somebody can actually start, which is why I'm really big on the property taxes and the income tax issue. Also, as an educator for the FU now, you need to, this is not, again, I'm not telling you how to do this, but it's something for you, food for thought, okay? Not everybody can pull off the Dean Clifford thing where they tell the cop, fuck you, this doesn't have nothing to do with me, so go fuck off. No, not everybody has Irish balls of steel, unfortunately. I realize
exactly.
that.
So you need to make that clear. Like, don't try to mimic me. If this is how I do it, this is not what I want you to do. I want you to be...
Oh, man. Have you seen my earlier videos where I tell people that? I always say, do as I say, not as I do. Because everybody that listens to me and do as I say usually wins, and everybody that does what I do loses, because I take it to the next level where they have to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
Where it can't be passive anymore. They have to aggressively attack me or they lose and they expose everything. Because I'm just an absolute, I am immovable. I will not move in my beliefs. I will not give in. I will not take a step back. I will not give an inch. And if you push me, I'm going to push 10 steps further ahead. Okay, fair enough. But we know that that's you, and you're capable and have the ability to do that. But remember, just like the business model needs to be duplicatable, so does the education. Yep. And I don't want other people doing that. I want other people operating from a position of safety, security, and a place where they can't say, oh, look at how much shit I got myself into doing what Dean does. Okay. With respect also to your opening statement tonight about the reality of FU, you can say that this is why we're part of the FU's product is that we're going to be implementing a support system, which Tony will be talking about in the presentation. That's all I have to say. And we're going to have a support system, which is what you and I said would be part of FU in terms of if somebody gets in trouble, they're not alone. They got the whole society to back them up, all of FU to back them up. Are we okay on that, or? Yeah. Do you understand what I mean? Oh, yeah, that's the whole point eventually. I would say once somebody gets to a level where they're willing to commit like that, then yeah, if this is for you and we get this whole, you really want to start actually enforcing some of the stuff you've been learning, now that's another step up. That's why I was saying I would almost be okay with that being like a tier 3 or tier 4 kind of thing. Because we have to make sure that that's where the sale of that, if you want to call it an insurance policy, would be partially commissionable, and then a portion of that going to the organization as well, because we would need a war chest to be able to pay people to go and enforce, to help somebody if they got themselves in shit and needed immediate help. Okay, so what if somebody is only a tier 1 product, let's say, and then he's learning education and gets in trouble? So if he needs help, he would have to buy a tier 3 product in order to get the help, right? I would assume that makes the most amount of sense, wouldn't it? But also, which is fine. I don't think anybody would be objecting at that time if they're in trouble. No, and my only problem about that is I don't want people thinking that all they have to do is wait till they get in trouble to then order it real quick. Because then people will feel the need. Well, I won't bother getting it until right when I need it. Right? That's like having no car insurance and going out and getting it after you get in an accident to save money. So if your problem arises from something that you did before you got the insurance policy, I almost kind of don't want to help you. You'd have to pay something separate for that. Okay. Now like you have to pay a fee for me to, or one of my higher level people to get involved to help you out.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I mean, why is it that people are willing to give a $50,000 retainer to a lawyer who loses 80% of the time, but they're like offended if they got to pay you a couple of $100 for a week of your time?
I don't think people mind paying when they're in a place where they need help.
Yeah.
Remember, the whole idea, though, is to get people to be independent, knowing the stuff enough so they can present themselves, right?
Yes.
However, what I was talking about support system, kind of, when you and I discussed the fear factors of why people are not implementing this knowledge, we talked about there's the fear of losing their jobs, there's the fear of getting thrown in jail, but not only that, I thought of something else, is the fear of being alone. Meaning, if they get taken to court and taken on the system, they feel like there's nobody standing behind them. Now, the tier 3 products you talk about there, that's an insurance policy, that's representation. You're going to represent them, to do the work for them to sign over an SPA to you, a special power of attorney or something like that, and you go do the stuff for them. That's what you're talking about, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, that's fine. That's a tier 3 product. 100% agree with you. But I'm talking about support system, kind of like when you got thrown in jail, everybody came together, started sending affidavits and contacting the remand center and so on and so on and so on. So what I'm saying is the support system that FU would offer, if somebody does get thrown in jail, FU is not going to just stand by and do nothing about it.
Oh, no, we can't do that. That's kind of silly.
Okay, so
in fact, one of the reasons people usually find their way to organizations like us in the first place is because they are in trouble and are desperate and looking for solutions, and they come across this.
The reason I mention this is because the presentation I'm giving tonight has been changed to the one I gave you, because the one I gave you, I gave it to you as an officer of FU, but now or an executive FU. The one I'm giving to these people, these are the people that we're trying to sell the idea to now, right?
Yes.
So it has to be, the presentation has to be done differently. For example, on my third slide, it says the concept. Freedom University is the first free man and sovereignty education system of its kind. But not only that, it offers that part is the same, but it emphasizes that it replaces the current income for those who no longer wish to be in the existing corrupt system, create new income for the unemployed. Oh, sorry, wrong slide. I'm sorry. Wrong slide here. The vision, that's it. See, that slide was not in the original presentation. See, when it comes to this vision, I want to explain to them why did we conceive the idea of FU? One day I was talking to you, and I'm going to say this tonight. One day I was talking to Dean, and I asked Dean, how long have you been teaching this stuff? And Dean said about 3 years. How many people have you taught this to? Quite a lot. How many of them are implementing the knowledge? Not very many. Why is that? And Dean and I have thrown ideas back and forth to figure out why aren't people implementing it. We came up with 3 reasons. One, they're afraid of not knowing the material enough to take on the man. 2, they're afraid of losing their job if they tell the employer, I want to surrender my SI social insurance number. They feel they're going to lose their job. 3, they're afraid of being alone if they get thrown in jail. There's nobody there to stand up for them, right?
Yes.
So then the vision of FU is this: to educate and empower, to provide an alternate economy, and to create a support system.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying this to you now, so that tonight when I present this, if you want to interject and come in and say the support system, that means that just like you guys all came to my help and started throwing affidavits and contacting the appropriate authorities, when I got thrown in jail, we'll do that and more if one of the members of FU was to be facing the same challenge.
Yep.
Are you okay with this or not okay with this? Or?
I don't see any problems there.
All right.
Now remind me, so what, okay, so for Tier 1 and Tier 2, just so what are the administrative fees attached to each one of those that go straight to admin that are not the 100% commissionable parts?
Well, right now, the only administration fee is, regardless of which tier you're buying, it's $19 a month.
Okay, but plus the sign-up fee, though, right? There's going to be an administrative sign-up fee originally?
There's going to be a sign-up fee of $99 or $100.
Okay.
$49 a month for tier 1.
Okay.
$100 a month for tier 2.
Okay.
But we're not going to give the prices just yet tonight.
No, I'm aware of that. Now, if it's $50 a month for tier 1, is that what you said, or 20? So what was it?
Tier 1, 49.
49. Yeah, 49 or 50, whatever.
Okay.
And then 19 of that is the administrative fee?
No, another 19 on top of that.
Another, okay, perfect.
Because the person who doesn't want to do the business, who just wants to be a student,
yep,
doesn't want to do the business, he will not have to pay the $19 a month.
Just wanted to be clear on that. Perfect.
Okay. Now, a person who wants to do the business, well, that's $19 a month, because now it involves us having to issue checks out, commissions, all that stuff, so there's administration there, right?
Yep.
While the person who just wants to be a student is not doing the business, is not collecting commission.
No, I completely agree with that. That's fine. And then, yeah, I'll see about the administrative fee. That's going to be mandatory, because I think that's a great number, especially if I have to start maintaining records at my office. Like, well, that's going to start taking a lot of time.
That's where the platform, that's basically what Alex would have done. Whoever's doing the IT work will all be in the back, what's called the back office. It's all automated. So yep. You and I would have to do is just print out a report. We don't have to actually manually keep records. We print out a report. Okay, how many affiliates do we have this month? How many new affiliates do we have this month? How many people have paid the $19 a month? How many people have not paid their administration fee? All that stuff, you don't have to sit there and track it manually. It's all be done by reports.
Oh yeah, no, I meant like just the initial sign up and stuff like that. Like I'm sure there's going to be an actual form that has to be filled out that we're going to have to maintain an original of. Like a contract, if you want to call it that. So that's, I got to maintain that somewhere, which is what that admin fee takes care of.
Admin fee takes care of everything, not just that. Yeah, but anything has to do with the administration for doing the business side of it.
Yes.
Okay. I think $19 is fair. I don't think it's a lot of money.
Oh, it's completely fair, and really that's the only real security on top of 100% commissionable sales that I have for putting basically what is 15 years of my work into this, if you want to call it that. That, as far as I'm concerned, I consider that to be my security for doing this.
Yeah.
That secures a monthly revenue for me that I'm going to be telling people does not actually go to me anyways. I'm 100% granting that to something else.
Okay.
So that people know that I'm not personally profiting off any of this. I want that to be very known. I make good money with my construction company. I don't need the money.
You're not personally profiting off what?
Off really anything. Everything is going to be donated, granted to something else.
So you're saying that because you and I would also be an affiliate like anybody else. When we bring in people, we got 100% commission on the first, third, fifth sale, right?
Yep.
So you tell me that all the profit you're going to give away?
Well, giveaway and putting it towards something that I don't personally benefit from are two different things.
Wow.
Well, I do personally benefit from it, but indirectly because everybody's going to benefit from it. And yes, I'm making that promise right now.
That's pretty generous of you.
Well, I want people to know I'm not in this for getting rich. I want everybody to know that.
Okay. Wasn't when I first brought the concept to you, did you not say that eventually you can see this replacing your construction income, so you can focus 100% of your time on this?
Yes. And again, I don't mind paying myself a wage or a salary. But again, I don't need anything above and beyond what is replacement income at this point. But
there is no wage and salary. The executives of this are not making any. Well, I guess if the administration fees are so high that they're covering the expenses of the whole thing and allows for salary, okay, fine. But I'm saying right now at the start, the only salary that you and I would make, for example, or anybody at the executive level, is by being in the field just like everybody else, which in itself has an appealing factor to it because everybody will say, wow, they're not taking the salary out of FU, they're making their money the same way we are by getting people involved.
Exactly, and not only that, after replacing what I normally make right now from my own private 100% commissionable sales, that is all getting granted to something else.
Okay, we need to be on the same page of this because I don't want to say this stuff tonight and then end up being a liar later.
No, that's what I'm saying. What would be my own personal money to do whatever I want with, I am not keeping personally anything above and beyond what would replace my business income.
Okay. But you are planning on eventually the income that you create from FU as an affiliate to replace your construction work so you can dedicate 100% of your time to the movement.
No, that's what I just said. But after I replace my income, above and beyond that is going to a different purpose.
Okay. One other thing one other concern I want to bring out in the open here. Now, how are you going to feel if Alex continues to badmouth me and what my motive in FU is?
Well, I don't want anybody bad-mouthing anybody, and I will put a clamp down on that, absolutely. He has to keep his personal feelings to himself.
All right. Because if he continues doing that, he wouldn't just be hurting me, he'd be hurting on the whole FU project.
Yes.
Last time you and I talked, when I basically disclosed to you the stuff that Alex was saying, you said we were still under the agreement that you said you guys can work together, fine, we'll separate. Alex will not be part of this, but you're still willing to offer your forum for free for members of FU. So what changed your mind on that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, it's not for free, but here's the problem.
No, you did say last time that if people join...
Oh, no, I agree. Now, the thing is, though, that, let's put it this way. If they're two completely organizations now, and the members of the forum are paying $15 to be members there, and all of a sudden we got all these people from FU on there that are on there for free as part of their tuition. I'm worried about that more than anything.
Okay.
Ranking things, like mixing a little bit, if you want to call it that. I still don't mind that, but then what we'd have to do is we'd have to forward, say, $15 from FU to the forum to pay the fee.
Okay. Let's look at the pros and cons of this. Let's put me and Alex aside for a minute, okay? Let's look at it from the point of view of what's best for the movement as a whole. If you have these things two separate, now isn't it in everybody's best interest to have everybody learning the education of FU properly, everybody learning the right way, everybody learning how to become self-sufficient, totally independent of the corrupt system? Isn't that the whole idea, that the whole premise why FU is being conceived is that...
I agree. Now let's think about this from an adverse...
I'll listen to you.
Go ahead.
Let me finish, okay? Now, you want to do this project with Alex and the other people over there. I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. But what I think is that it defeats the whole concept, the vision that we're trying to sell to the people about why we came up with FU. We're telling them that we came up with FU because, one, people are learning this, they're not learning it properly, they're getting themselves in trouble. Plus, those who do learn it properly, they're not implementing it because they're scared shitless. We put FU together to eliminate the fear factor, to provide an alternate economy, but now there's this other thing over here. Now, the goal is to reunite everybody together, to be strong, united. So I like the idea where you're giving before the option for people to have your forum for free to join FU, because then it gives the people on the forum an incentive to join FU. They'll all be united under one umbrella. But if you keep them separate, that's going to create a division. I'm talking about from the point of view of the people, not the point of view of me and Alex here.
Yes.
Okay?
Well,
if there's no downside to everybody on your forum being a member of FU, is there? Aside from the money factor, would you not want the people on your forum to learn the stuff in FU, to be part of that community?
And actually, that's what I was just going to point out to you. As long as you're comfortable with the fact that if people from FU are on the forum discussing things that they learned from FU and they've had successes with, and people that are paying just the $15 to be a part of the forum are learning this stuff without actually having joined FU, then that's fine, because they're actually going to be the ones benefiting more so than the FU people.
Okay, but why don't you try to make it so it's encouraging for the people on your forum to also be part of FU? Like, why are you trying to keep the two separate? I don't get the benefit besides money. I don't get the benefit of that.
It's not that I'm trying to. Again, if we end up turning the forum into a social utility and stuff like that, and people become accustomed to the idea of the forum being just a part of FU, and then Alex is kind of heading up the whole social profile utility thing that we got going on, that basically kind of mixes the two of you right back in together a little bit, which is what
I told you before, I don't have a problem with Alex being part of FU if he knows where his place is. If he's basically the thing that you say you don't want to get involved, that's fine, I respect that. But you can't avoid the fact that he was trying to phase me out.
Well, yeah, that's just not possible. It's just like saying that you're going to uncreate.
I wasn't talking about it was just going to be possible. I knew it was going to be.
I know. I knew you don't have to. I know. You don't have to reiterate that with me.
You don't have to.
And I actually like the fact that you're actually even despite all this, saying I still have no problem with Alex being involved as long as he knows his place.
Yes.
In fact, I like that.
Okay, as long as you know, meaning like when he actually puts in writing a statement that Tony cannot be involved at CEO level, that to me is a total fucking insult.
I know, but it tells me that you're willing to put the greater whole above ego and...
Yes, because I'm in this for the... I brought the FU to you not as a way to make money.
I know that.
Yeah?
I know that. Believe me, if there's anything I'm very good at, it's sitting back and just watching what people's intentions are and knowing people by their actions instead of just what they're saying.
All I'm saying that if Alex is going to be... I don't mind him being involved in FU, but because he already violated the trust, I don't think he should have a say in anything that has to do with FU. He comes in... If he wants to be paid money for his for stuff he does, if he decide he wanted to be the IT part, he pays money. Fine. He does not have the grand password for it. He has because when you, one thing you probably don't know is that with administrating a website, there is a main password and then there's what do you call it? There's the admin password and there's moderator passwords. Admin has control over everything. Moderator cannot supersede the admin, in other words, right? So if he is to be involved in that capacity, meaning as an IT, he is not to have the admin password in his possession because he can lock all of us out.
Yeah, no. In fact, there's the thing is that there's 4 other people heavily involved with, if you want to call it, with a function of the forum, and it's being mirrored now. Probably by the end of the week on a couple of different servers, and the admin codes are in the hands of some other people as well now. So he's not the only upper admin with tech knowledge that's now involved anymore. That's been diversified. There's about 5 other people that are techs with all the admin codes and the sites being mirrored elsewhere, just in case the original one goes down anyway. So there's other stuff going on with that forum. That's kind of the point I've been trying to make here.
Okay, so what problem do you have with if you would join it all together, but you tell Alex, look, you cannot be in the same capacity you were in before.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the other thing.
I got no problem with that anyway.
Here's the other thing. You said yourself that anybody who joins FU, they have to sign an NDA, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then what happens to the NDA when they take the knowledge they learn from FU and they go put it on the forum?
And sorry, say it again?
What's the point of having an NDA if you're gonna tell me that they can take the knowledge they learn on FU and then they go put it on the forum?
Well, that's actually what I was just saying 5 minutes ago, where I said as long as you're okay with the fact that if people in FU are automatically members of the forum now, if they go there and start talking about it on an open forum, well, it's closed, but with people who aren't yet members of FU, then they're going to be able to benefit from stuff that other people have joined FU to get.
Okay, here's what I want to bring to you. It's a reality check here. You are well aware that people who get into the freedom movement, some of them are like that guy Evolution. Remember him?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, which means they want everything for free. The minute somebody asks for money, they start making this whole big scandalous thing, correct?
No, I know.
Okay. Plus, there's other kind of people. There's the kind of people who, like the people who pirate movies, the people who pirate music, for example, right?
Yeah, they will find the cracks to get through and get as much as they can for as little as they can.
You open up that avenue with the forum, here's what's going to happen. People are going to say, you know what, I'll go halfers with you on the membership with FU. You get the knowledge, you can post it here.
Well, in fact, that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid. That's why I brought that up.
You can't avoid it. That's the thing.
No, but that's why I brought up the fact that kind of creates a bit of a crack that people could do that too, and that's why I was trying to avoid by saying, well, maybe we should just keep the 2 separate then, so that's not happening.
No. By keeping it separate, that's what I'm telling you. By keeping it separate, By telling your members on your forum that they can only be members on the forum, they don't have to be members of few, that's how it creates the crack.
Well, no, because we're doing two separate things. In fact, well, they're just going to say that. It's kind of like it's a forum for what's going to be the greater expanded blog and stuff like that, where I talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. It's not just law. It's like I'm going to be getting into promoting my land stewardship thing on that forum. Not on the forum, on the .info thing, where I'm doing blogs, where videos are going to be uploaded that has nothing to do with law whatsoever.
Okay, but Dean, you're missing the point.
Which is other projects of mine that I've been working on for a very long time.